Hi, and welcome back to Teaching Statistical Thinking. Today, we're going to go over univariate or one variable graphics. Let's take a look back at the dataset, Forbes Top 100 Celebrities. The two variables we are going to look at are marital status, a categorical or nominal variable, and children, a numeric or continuous variable. So let's start out with marital status. So what you want to do is go up to the top to Analyze, Distribution, and find marital status. The red bar chart means it is a categorical variable. I'm going to put it in the Y column and hit OK. To make this easier to see, we're going to stack it by hitting this red triangle up at the top. So not even looking at this information over here, what this bar chart tells us is the relative frequency that the celebrity was either divorced, engaged, married, or single. We see here that more often than not, celebrities were married. So the number of celebrities that were divorced was 16, engaged was 6, married was 55, the most, and single was 21. This column over here shows the relative frequency of each of the four categories. Divorced, 16%, engaged, 6%, married, 56%, and single, 21%. In addition, a quick side note, if you click on each of the bars in the bar chart, it will highlight the individual rows for which the celebrities were divorced, engaged, married, or single. And that's really handy if you want to know exactly which celebrities fell into each of the four categories. Alright, now let's take a look at our numeric or continuous variable. So once again, we're going to go to Analyze, Distribution. We're going to find Children, which is the purple triangle, which means it is continuous or numeric. Put it in the Y column, hit OK. We're going to once again stack it by hitting this red triangle and clicking Stack. On a quick side note, if you take a look at the column titled Children, you'll notice these dots. That simply means that the data, the number of children, was not available from the Forbes website, so it was not factored in to the dataset, and therefore it is excluded from the calculations. Alright, now let's get back to the dataset and the distribution. So you'll notice that this number n has decreased from 100 to 71. That is because of these dots. The data is excluded, so our number drops to 71 from 100. Alright, now let's get back to looking at the distribution. Alright, so let's ignore the summary statistics and quantiles for now and take a look at the graph over here. So once again, each of these bars shows the relative frequency of the number of children. And once again, if you click on each one of these bars, it'll highlight the rows in the data set which correspond to the celebrities having this number of children. You can also see here, the most frequent number of children was 2. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the box and whisker plot up here. This box right here is also known as the interquartile range, or the distance between the 25th and the 75th. The 25th being this line here, and the 75th being this line here. The 25th percentile is 1, and the 75th percentile is 3. So the interquartile range would be the distance between them, which would be 2. Now, these out here are called whiskers, and the whiskers extend to 0 and 6. This point out here is an outlier. It has a value of 7, and you see when you click on it, the row is highlighted over here. Alright, now let's take a look at the quantiles over here. The easiest way to start is with the 50% or the median. This means that 50% of the data falls above this value and 50% falls below. The median in this case is 2. The minimum value or the lowest value in the data set is 0, and the maximum or the 100% quantile is 7. So what exactly do these quantiles mean? Let's start with the 25th quantile. So that means that 25% of the data falls below the value, which happens to be 1, and 75% of the data is above the value of 1. And with the 90% quantile, that means that 90% of the data is below this value of 4, and only 10% of the data is above. Alright, now let's take a look at the summary statistics over here. The only two that concern us right now are the mean and the standard deviation. The other three will come in handy later on in the course videos, but we don't need to worry about them right now. Alright, let's start with the mean. The mean, or the arithmetic average, is the number of children, the total, divided by the number of celebrities. In this case, our mean is 2.34, or, for the sake of keeping children to whole numbers, 2. Lastly, we have the standard deviation, which is the average distance from the mean. The standard deviation in this case is 1.43. So what that means is the number of children each celebrity had, on average, was 1.433 units from the mean of 2.33. Even though the standard deviation may seem very arbitrary and abstract at this moment, it will become much more important as you move along the course. So, as you can see, just looking at simple distributions of continuous or numeric data and categorical or nominal data can provide us with a large amount of information about our data set. In the next video, we're going to look at describing the relationship between two categorical or nominal variables. I hope you enjoyed, and happy statistical thinking.